2 years ago, I made a video on how to create seamless Instagram carousel, and with the review and the comments, it was very helpful. But this is 2023, you need to up your game. The video I created 2 years ago, you can only create 3 slides at once. But with this new method I'm about to show you, you can create even up to 10 slides. You can skip the design process, or you can stick to the very end to learn and gain more knowledge. You might be wondering why I have a mouse cursor on my screen. You can see my workspace. I have a mini wireless keyboard and a mouse connected to my smartphone with an OTG. Let's get started. So the first thing to do when creating any design, as we all know, is to define your size. And as far as Instagram is concerned, we have 3 dimensions, which is the square, the portrait, and the landscape. But for the sake of Instagram carousel, the general size or dimension is the square and the portrait. So now let's define our size. So if you want to define your size, you have to go to this guy here, the 4th tab here. This is where you create your canvas. This is where you define your size, and you have to go to image size. So now this is where you input your figures to create your size. Now you have to get something right, because if you get it wrong from here, then you have scattered everything. So like I said, we have square and portraits for carousel in Instagram. Now it depends on the size you use for your general flyer. Like a normal flyer, if you want to post a single flyer on Instagram, it depends on the size you use. Now let's say we want to create this carousel using square shape. Now I actually use 3000 by 3000 pixels for square shape one flyer. Why? Because I want my flyer to come out crisp. That is for one image, but this is carousel. So let's assume we want to use 3000 by 3000 pixels per slide. So we already know the height. The height will be 3000 because we want to do 3000 by 3000 shape per slide. But we want to create how many slides? Let's create 4 slides, because I don't want to take your time. Let's create 4 slides. Now if you want to get the size you put in your width, because your width will define how many slides you want to design for your carousel. Now we want to do 3000 shape, so then you have to multiply that 3000 by the number of the slides you want in your carousel. So for me, I want 4 slides. You input your 12,000 pixels here. Then you can see the aspect ratio. It's showing 4:1, which means you are creating 4 slides. Now you can click OK. Now you have this. Now the second thing to do when creating carousel is to define your guide. It is very, very important. Then how do you do it in Pixellab? For those that don't know how to do it, now you have to come to this icon that looks like a table or grid. Click on it. Then you have a default guide there. We don't need this default guide. We need to define our own. Then if you want to define your own in Pixellab, you have to come here to this guy here. Click on the setting, then come to this guy here. Then you have this. The number of horizontal guides are the guides start from the top to the bottom. We don't need that one. Then we have to change the figure to 0. Now the number of vertical guides are the ones that are stacked from the left to the right. Then we need 3 because we are creating 4 slides. That's another thing you need to know about this thing also, because if you get it wrong from here, then you might not get your slide right. If you are creating 5 slides, for example, you have to make sure, because we don't need the last guide, you have to remove, you have to minus 1 from that 5, then you have 4. If you are creating 10 slides, you have to remove 1 guide from it, you have 9. So now that we are creating 4 slides, we will remove 1 from it, then we'll put 3. Then when you click OK, you see you have 4 slides. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you have to click this guy to get rid of this setting here. Click on it, then you have this. So the next thing you want to do is to bring your image. So we need to bring our image depending on the kind of image you want to use. So if you want to bring your image, you come to the object management here. This is where you manage your objects. This guy here, when you click on it, you import your image from here. So let me import my image. So when you click on the image, it will take you to this place where you can crop or do anything you want to do with it. You want to crop, you want to, okay. So but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to cut this image. I'll just leave it like this. Then I'll click on the check mark here. So now I have it here. It's too big, as you can see. So but you need to bring it down, but you are not even seeing the anchor point where you can drag it down. So how do we reduce it? You can just come to this guy again, this objects manager. If you are not there, come to this object manager, then go to relative size. When you click on the relative size, you reduce it. You reduce it to whatever size you want. So let me put it this way. Let me shift it a bit. Depending on your own image, however you want it, you can increase or decrease it. But for the sake of this tutorial, I will just increase it a bit. I think I'm fine with it like this because I want to write something there. Now I think it's okay like this. So you can just click outside the outside the image for you to deselect. So now I have it like this. Now I want to write something here. So let me go to my shape. So I can bring it here. Let me resize it. It depends. I'm just trying to design something for us to know how to create a seamless carousel. So you can design anything, like anything at all. So when you are done defining your shape, you can change the color if you want, change the radius, anyhow you want to. You can toggle with any option here, but I'm not doing anything here again, so I will just check mark. So I have this here, so let me just bring it here. But for the sake of this tutorial, I don't need to zoom in because I'm seeing what I'm doing. But if you want to zoom in, that is if you are doing more than 4 slides, you might want to zoom in. You need it. So if you want to zoom in, you come to this magnifier icon. So you click on it, then you zoom. So let me reduce it a bit. So when you are done, you click on the magnifier tool again, because if you don't click on if you click on the number, it will go back to the normal size. I mean the normal view. But you have to make sure you click on the magnifier tool again to deselect. Now I have this thing here. I want to write something here. So what should I write? Let me just go to my text tool here. This is my text tool. Then you click on the text. You have something like this. Double click on it, write your text. Let me write Israel at the 2022. Click OK. Then you have this. Before you take it to where you're going, or you can take it there and change your font. I want to change my font. You might leave it like this, but I don't like that font. I want to change my font. I have 2 fonts installed on my Pixellab. If you don't know how to install fonts on Pixellab, I have a video on that. You can check the top right corner and watch that video on how to download fonts, extract fonts, and also install fonts on Pixellab. You can watch that video showing on your screen. Now I want to choose Poppins regular. So now let me take it to where I want to drop it. Then I can decrease the size. Decrease the size a bit, then drop it. Yeah, so I think I'm fine with it here. No, let me drop it a bit. If you want to shift it, if you want to move your text without having to carry it up and down, you can just come to your text to go to position, reduce the speed, then you can move it anyhow you want. You can move it up and down. Just make sure this there. Now we are good with it, then you can move on. But I think I still want to adjust it a bit. Yeah, I think it's cool like this. Now I want to write something else, but before I go, I want to lock these 2 objects. how do you lock it so that you don't mistakenly move it away from where you placed it? So you can go to where you manage your layers here. You see this guy here. Go to where you manage your layer and lock the ones you want to lock. Then when you're done, click on the layer manager again and you're done. Most of the time, I love to hide my guide and put it back on when I need it. So it depends on you. If you need it always on, you can put it there. But now I want to off it. So I have something like this. Now I want to bring another text. So I want to write something like, let me write something like the man of. Okay, now let me just write the man of. So I want to write another thing, but I will make that one bold. So now let me change the font again. You remember how we change the font? You must be on your tool, on your font tool. So go to font, my font. Then this time I want to choose Poppins medium. Let me click OK. Then I want to change the size. This is the size. Let me reduce it. Let me give it like 12. I think I'm okay with it like this. Now let me bring back my guide to see what I'm doing. Okay, I think I love it. I love it here. I love it here. Now let me bring another text. Another text. Now I will input our text. This is it here. Double click, write whatever it is you want to write. But yeah, I want to write virtue. So you have it here. You can increase it. Now we need to change the font again. But this time around, I'm not using Poppins. I want to use a script font, which is block C. Block C. So click on the block street and click OK. You can increase the size the way you want it. Okay, let me move it here. Let me make it like, yeah, I'm still seeing the guide. I know what I'm doing depending on what you are doing, what you are designing. So I want my own to flow to the third slide. That's why I'm adjusting the size. Your own, you might not want it to flow to you might want another thing to flow to the third slide. So you adjust it the way you want it. So I think I love it here. I love it here. So let me just click the text. I want to change the color. So go to color here and choose any color you want. You can even choose another color from here or pick color from any update you dropped in your documents. But I have the color here. I think I love the color. So I'll just click OK. So I have this here. So let me just lock it. You know how to lock? Let me just lock it so that it doesn't move. So let me drop this one here. Now I want to bring another text, but this time around I'll just bring a default text. Let me double click and bring the default text. Okay, now this is my default text. So let me write something like notifications. Okay, now let me click OK. Now it's too big. You have to reduce the size. This size, let's reduce it to something very small. So depending on what you want, let me leave it at, okay, 8. I think 8 is better. Let me choose 6. 6, depending on what you want. Now I want to bring this one down so that I have something like this. Let me break this from there so that to have a paragraph. Okay, so I have something like this. Now I want to change the font. I will change it to my font. I'll change it to regular, Poppins regular. So I have something like this. I want to make sure it's aligned with this one. You can actually bring another guide to make sure it's aligned, but I don't need it in this tutorial. I have it like this. So now I want to bring another thing here. So I want to create, let me leave the guide and zoom in. Let me move it here. So we want to work on the third slide. So I want to bring another shape. This is another shape. Let me drop it here. I want to change the color. Let me change the color to, okay, let me just pick a color. You know how to pick a color? Click on this and pick any color from your object. Let me choose this blue. Then click OK. Click OK again. Now you can move it anyhow you want it. So this is just my own design. So if you already know how to design, you can just keep to where we cut our Instagram carousel, where we cut it to be uploaded to Instagram. But I'm showing this with us for the sake of those people that doesn't know how to use guide or design. So let me just click OK. Now this is it. I want to bring another image here. So I'll just import, where to import. This is the guy. Yeah, this is the image I want to use. I've already removed the background. I believe you all know how to remove background from images on your smartphone. If you don't know how to remove background on images on smartphone, you can drop a comment below and I will tell you what to do. So let me just crop it and click OK. So now I have it like this. So I can move it up and down, I can scale it. But make sure, no, this is another thing, please. Make sure you don't scale your image from the side. Don't scale it from the side, because if you are scaling your image from the side like this, you are distorting the image. So let me undo this by clicking on this guy. So always scale from this part. Always scale from this corner here. So I have my image like this. So let me make it come here. So I think it's better like this. Now I want to enhance this image a bit. So why do I do that? You can go to your color filters. Now, number one is that I want to desaturate it. So I want to make it black and white, then increase the contrast a bit. So I think I love it like this. So you can then click OK. So you can lock it, go to your layer and lock it. Then you have this. Let me lock this rectangle again. So I have it like this. Now I want to write something else. So, but I don't want to. I don't want to browse. So I'll just copy this guy here. So let me just copy. Go to text. You cannot see text from the shape manager here or object manager. You have to go to anything about text. You have to go to your text manager here. So when you are back to your text manager, you'll be able to see it copied. This is what I just copied. Then I can bring it here. So let me increase it a bit like this, so that I have something like this. I think I need to decrease the, depending on what you want to. Okay, I think this is fine. So I have like this. Now let me bring this guy again. Let me also copy this one. Copy, then bring it here. So let me double click and edit. Maybe I can just write his achievements. So let me put it here. I need to change the color of this one. So let me go to the color and click plus and pick the color from here. So I think I'm okay with this color. So let me just drop it here and change the font. I want to change the font. So you know how to change the font. Go to font, click there. I want to choose semi-bold. So I think I have it here. Let me make it aligned. Yeah, I think it's better. So now I want to write something else. Now I want to write something here. So let me just write, or let me just copy this one. Let me copy it, bring it here, and write something like the name of his girlfriend. Okay, now let me change the size. Change the size to maybe 8. Okay, now I have to change the color. Let me change the color to white so that you can see it. Now this is it. Yeah, now I want to write something else. Let me write Victoria. And let me change the font. I'm choosing Biloxi script. So let me increase the size. Increase it. So now I want to change the color of this pictorial. Let me choose another color for it. Go to color, click on plus, then select. You can select or you can choose any color, but I'll select this one. But I'll increase the brightness a bit so that the contrast will be okay. Now, okay, so I have something like this. So you can lock it in case you want to move the one here. Now let me change the font of this one. Let me change to something lighter. Okay. So I'll choose Poppins regular. Okay. So I have it like this. So as you can see, we are done with the first slide, second slide, and the third slide. Now the last slide. What should we write? Okay, let me zoom in a bit. Now to zoom in. So let me just bring a shape. Let me go to this object manager again. Bring the shape. Then bring this shape here. And choose this color again. This yellow color that I choose here. So I chose it again. But this time around, I want to drag it. Let me drag it here. Then increase the radius. I want a cornered edge. So let me increase the radius like this. And decrease this. So I think I love it like this. So, but I want this thing to be on this one. So let me go and unlock this. You know how to unlock this blue background and the image. So I have this blue background and the image here. Let me unlock this. Now I want to click on the blue and shift this one a bit. So I want to click on the blue and increase it a bit. Then the image also, I want to move it this way. So then I can now unlock them back. So I have something like this. So this one to the name of his girlfriend and Victoria. I can also move it if I like. This is it. I can move it and increase it and lock it back. I can click on this and come here and also lock it if I want. And if I don't want to lock it, I can leave it. Then back to this guy here. So I want to create a shadow here, a reflective shadow here. So how do I do that? I have to come to Object Manager again, go to shadow here, click on the shadow, enable it. So I don't like this shadow, so I want to tune it. Now I want to use the same color of this shape as my shadow, and this is the color here. So when I click it, I have something like this, but I don't want it around my shape, so I want it to come down a bit. So I'll offset it vertically. This is how you offset it vertically. So let me offset it a bit, decrease the blur radius like this. Then you have to reduce the opacity of this shadow. How do you do that? You have to come to where you choose your color, this plus sign, click on it, then you change the transparency here. This is where you decrease it. So when you decrease it, you click OK, then you see it's actually fine like this, or you can increase it anyhow you want. Now let me write something here and bring it here and bring it down a bit. Serio. I think it's okay. Now let me bring this text again because I don't want to bore you by writing another thing. So let me just go to text and copy. So I have this thing here, so let me just put it here, and I can increase it a bit because I want to write something else here. So I think I have it like this. Now let me bring another shape. Click OK, then you bring it here. You can increase the relative size. If you want to increase, sometimes if you want to increase the relative size, to maintain the ratio, you check this, that is, you turn on this. So when you move this, they all move together. But if you want only the width to move, block this, then you increase the width and the height as you want. But I want to decrease it a bit. Now I think it's okay like this. So I have something like this. So I think it's okay. Now I want to write something. Let me just write, how should I write? Let me write subscribe. Okay, now let me change the font. Let me change the font to Poppins semi bold and click OK. Then I need to reduce the size. I think the size is okay. I can decrease it a bit. Okay, now I want to decrease the spacing. The spacing is too much, so let me decrease it a bit. Let me keep it 4 or 5. No, 4 will be okay. So let me click 4, then bring it here. Then change the color. I want to change the color to red. I think I have red here. Yes. Let me increase the darkness there. Okay, good. So I think I have the subscribe here, but I want to add the shadow to this rectangle also. So I'll click on the shadow, go to Object Manager, go to where shadow is, enable it. Then you can leave the black there, decrease the blur radius, then offset it. Then you can decrease the opacity like this. So I have something like this. Then increase this radius. So you have something like this. So depending on what you want. Now the last thing we want to do is to bring this again. Let me copy it. Go to text, copy. Let me bring it here and write something like, let me write something like so. We have it like this. Let's change the font. I want to change the font to medium. So I want to increase the size. Increase the size to whatever you like. Then We have something like this. Now we have something like this. But I want to change the color of these tags for watching. So that's another challenge for most designers using Pixellab. They don't know how to from a text box change a particular color. How do you do that? Go to your color here. Now just select only the one you want to change the color. I want to change thanks for watching. I want to change the color. Now you see the color has changed. So I have it like this. So I want to import an icon to just place here. Let me go to my object manager. Okay, I have this YouTube icon. Let me reduce it. So let me bring it here. I want to reduce it more. Let me just drop it here. So I want to give it a shadow. We know how to give shadow. Go here. I want to choose the same color. I want to reduce the blur radius and offset it. Now let me reduce the opacity like this. So I think I'll go with it. So here is our carousel. This is the first slide, the second slide, the third slide, and the fourth slide. So now we want to export to be posted on Instagram. How do you do that? Now you export as you normally export from Pixellab. You go to save, then you save as what? You save as image. You can first of all save as project because you've not saved this thing as project. Just that Pixellab is very good. When you close your Pixellab, you come back to recover it. But save as projects in case you want to use it another time. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'll just save as image. So save as image, then save to gallery. So your image is saved. We need to split our image to be uploaded on Instagram because you cannot upload it like this. So we need another app to help us cut it to fit in for Instagram carousel. Now the name of the app we want to use now is Panel for Instagram. So let's go to the app. The app is loading. So this is the app. For this app, you need your internet connection. So now instead of going to grid or no crop or anything, you have to choose panorama. So when you choose panorama, it will ask you to upload your image, the image you want to cut into Instagram carousel. So our image is here. So I'll click on the image. This is the one we saved recently. Now the reason why we are seeing it like this is because the number of the split you want is on 2. That is to say, you want to cut it to make it 2 slides, but we designed for how many slides? We designed for 4 slides, so we have to choose 4 slides. But you can as well, like I said, choose up to 10 slides. That means if you have designed for 10 slides, you have to choose 10 slides there. But if you choose 10 slides without designing for 10 slides, you have something like this. So, but we designed for 4 slides. We designed for square. This is why we are choosing this one by one because we designed each slide in square shape, not in 4 by 5. The last video I did was in 4 by 5. That's why I didn't choose 4 by 5 again. So we chose square shape. So we have it like this. Now the next thing you will do once you choose your split is to preview. You can either preview in video or preview in photo, but I prefer to preview in photo. So you have something like this. So can you see the second slide? This is the third slide, and this is the fourth slide. Like that, if you had made more than 4 slides, you keep seeing it like that. So can you see? It's seamless, no cuts at all, no cuts at all. Then when you are done and you are sure, then you can save here. So when you save, it will save the split to your to your gallery, and you can check your your gallery to see the splitted images. Then you can upload as carousel on Instagram. So that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. So if you want more video like this, you can click on subscribe button and turn on your notification bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video. And till next time, we'll see you again. Stay creative.